Well, congratulations on Armand. I was completely floored by this piece of work.
Oh,
Completely. Um, what was it about Elisabeth that you're like, oh my gosh, I have to play her?
it was actually a little bit reversed because me and Halfdan, we did a short movie 8 years ago, and he started writing a character for me because we knew we had to work together. We had a very strong connection, and it took a long time to get money. So every time he wrote a new draft, he would make her a little bit more intense and a little bit more in pain, or he would hand me a new draft being like, sorry, like but he had seen me in the theater and he felt that he could write me anything, but I didn't think I was going to make the laughing scene. He wrote that, and because that was kind of the pivoting of the whole movie for him and the character, that's when it all changes. So for him it was very important, but that I didn't think was going to work. But it's 10 hours of losing control and being a little bit crazy. It's yeah, we got that too.
I was gonna ask, that was a later question I
Yeah,
had for you.
yeah.
Um, you laugh for 2 to 3 minutes on screen and then you dissolve into tears. Like you're talking about this lasting 10 hours. How did you sustain it that long? How, like,
Well,
I'm in awe of you.
yeah, I think I don't know. It
That's
was
valid.
it was, I love like building analysis and building like a web of possibilities for a character. So when I come on set, I'm prepared for anything. And then it was a big teamwork. Like all the other actors were really supportive and trying to help. And the sound guy, he's a very funny guy. I went up to him and asked him to tell me a joke, and it was a really bad joke, but I was so nervous, so I started laughing really bad, and then it kind of kicked off, and the scene developed, and the scene is really good, so it kind of just came together by everyone, and I felt very free, and I felt that Halfdan got what he needed, and then when the other people did their shots, I didn't, of course, have to do it that intense. So, and I think one of the hardest things for me as an actor is the thing where you actually lose control. And to be able to do this,
Right.
I had to actually lose control, and that was kind of the most exhausting part of it because the body doesn't want to. It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really hard to make laughter seem authentic. Like some of the greatest
Yeah.
actors can't even do it. And you did it for 3 minutes, and I don't know
Yeah,
how
you
you did
just
it.
you have to laugh.
Yeah, you
You
have to
can't.
laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
have
guess
to
having
find a
a funny set
place.
guy is the way to do it. Um,
Yeah.
so you're telling me that this script, you've been working on this script with the director for a very long time. I love how the characters slowly reveal their connections to one another throughout the script. Was that something that you guys knew from the get-go that was happening, or did that kind of evolve over the 7, 8 years that it took to make this and get funding?
Yeah, so I was just involved in my character, so I didn't really know, or Halfdan really wrote this. It's his work. But I think, yeah, for him it kind of came together building the characters first. He built Elisabeth, and then not knowing what world she would be in, he put her in that school situation, and then
Mhm.
he found this other woman, and it kind of became this witch hunt between these women, and then that used their kids for their cause, and then he structured it really well. I remember the first time I read it because we became really close friends also after the short movie, and I read it, and then I knew him really well, and I was like, wow, this is, did you write this? Because it was just so smart and so funny
Yeah.
and so well structured and so exciting. You couldn't stop reading. I was just so deeply impressed that that was his first script. So yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good. I often find that when a character a character's actions feel spontaneous or unhinged, um, the actor is actually very calculated with their movement and choices. And I
Mm.
noticed that like in the first kind of confrontation scene where everybody first sits down together,
Mm.
that like your movement and your choices seem very deliberate. Did you find that true while playing Elisabeth?
I think while we through those years, I think one of the things for Halfdan was the physicality of her, that how the stress would come out in her body. So he knew that he wanted something. He wrote in the thing with the jacket. He wrote in things with the nails and the everything with the earrings, and it's a lot going on with her, and that he felt very true to be that character. And it's also then great for an actor to actually have physicality to put the stress in so that you can
Right.
actually, yeah, have it in the room, kind of. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Mm.
You've made some really interesting choices since your breakout in The Worst Person in the World, which, by the way, when that came out, that like I was ending my 20s, that was like the most relatable thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
How are you selecting your parts now? And is there a genre you're dying to do?
Well, I'm selecting it very much from the script and how the director wants to do the script. I'm very like director driven, so I think, and in Europe, the director stands
Yeah.
really strong in all of the movies. You get to play in different ways. You get to do a lot of different techniques or personal stories. I think what I've understood is it's a little harder to get funding for personal stories in America,
Yeah.
and it's very few times the director stands really like the strongest in the production. But I really felt that when I read The Different Man and talked to Aaron Schimberg, that it kind of resonated with me, and I could play the way that even though I was so nervous because it was my first international or English speaking movie. So I was very nervous, but I still got to do my quirky Norwegian kind of thing. And yeah, so I think it's just the connection with the directors and the script, of course. Yeah.
And you felt that on Presumed Innocent and also Handling the Undead?
Yeah, handling the undead the same, and also in Presumed Innocent was I didn't have the script, so in
Right.
a TV show it's a little different. I had like bits of the story and bits of what it was going to be, but it was actually with the audition with Jake Gyllenhaal that I felt okay, we can actually explore something, and you are also interested. He has such an immense integrity in the scenes and the story and the character. He's so driven by
Yeah.
making it great, every bit of it. So I felt okay, we can explore something together here, and that was the draw in that for me. So I think yeah, connection with someone, and yeah, a character that seems complex, like both light and dark. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's more successful than others. It's really hard, of course, to make something great, but
Mhm.
I feel I've been very lucky with what I've been offered. Yeah.
Absolutely. I just got back from Sundance, and whenever
Yeah.
I go, it always makes me think about like what I've seen before. And it's always interesting because like Sundance happens, as you know, like right around award season, and literally like we got there the day Oscars were announced. And
Um,
I couldn't stop thinking about A Different Man when I saw it last year at the festival. Um, I love that the film has gotten so much love from
yeah.
the award circuit in terms of like the Gotham Awards and the Critics' Choice, and obviously Sebastian's win at the Golden Globes and the Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
I have to ask you guys, obviously, like I hope you're still friends. I hope you're still in
Yes.
communications. But also I want to ask like about that journey together to take this like you said, a super personal script from Aaron, and then to now have it be celebrated on the stage like this.
Yeah. It's yeah, it's really great. It's been such a roller coaster for that movie because some
Yeah.
of the awards it was really big, and that it won Best Picture in Gotham Awards was
Yeah.
fantastic. And I really feel also like Adam has been nominated.
Yes.
I love his character in the
He's
movie.
so good. Yeah.
And also Sebastian, he did like the work he did in that movie was so he was in that mask and he was just very respectful for that story. And yeah, it's we still all keep in touch, and I meet them all the time, all of them. So
Good.
yeah, it
Good.
was very important to all of us. Yeah.
Will we be seeing you at the Oscars in a couple weeks?
I don't think so,
Okay.
actually. I'm shooting, and because we're not like directly nominated, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I'll be
Good
rooting
to know.
for
Yeah, I
all the
will be
people.
too. Yeah.
That's I know. Yeah.
So, well, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Renata, for talking with me, and it's been absolutely a pleasure. And congrats on Armand.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.